And now, weather on the threes with Storm Tracker 13 meteorologist Chris Still.
Good morning to you. It is the day before the weekend. Looking a little cloudy out there on the Grand Strand this morning. These are very low clouds. Shouldn't stay around for very long. Let's take a look at Titan radar and see if any rain is coming out of any of the clouds. Short answer to that is no. It's a rain-free morning out there. But despite that fact, the Hair Day forecast is not a perfect 5 there in Georgetown. We have our low clouds out there right now. It's very humid. So the Hair Day forecast today, still pretty good. We're calling it a 4 out of 5 today. Not a whole lot of wind out there today to cool us off and all this heat and humidity. Not a whole lot of rain either, but there is at least a 20% chance of a thunderstorm before the afternoon is over. But there's your Titan radar once again over the past 12 hours. Really not much going on. We'll take a look out over the Gulf of Mexico. Pretty impressive looking, a little rotation moving around here. We've been following this for about 4 or 5 days now. It originated in New England, moved down the Atlantic coast across Florida yesterday, and will continue to follow that path. Hurricane Center says there's a very slim chance it could develop, but it's probably not going to. Everything's going around that area of high pressure, and that high pressure marks the center of the hot weather we've enjoyed, or endured, I should say, this week. It has retreated a little bit to the west, and that's going to gradually cool us off again the next few days. If this system in the Gulf were to develop, its name would be Arlene, but the chances of that appear to be fairly slim. Our temperatures are fairly large this morning, currently 73 for Lumberton, Florence, and Myrtle Beach. In fact, 73 almost everywhere. Coolest weather is in Kingstree and Hartsville. Your temperature is 70, also 72 up there in Bennettsville. Upper 80s near 90 at noon today. As far as what you'll notice today, the weather's not going to change a whole lot. Temperature-wise, pretty much identical. We did add the slight chance of a thunderstorm today, but it's 20% at best. It's basically not going to rain a lot where you are if it does rain at all. High temperatures today, notice, are starting to get the warmest out to the west. That's a sign the heat is moving to the west. 101 today in Jackson, Mississippi. They'll warm it into the upper 90s across Texas today. Meanwhile, across the east, things are cooling off with highs mostly in the 80s east of the Appalachian Mountains. Here's your forecast tracker as we head through the next few days. Hottest weather is under the center of that high pressure, but that has retreated to the west. It will be a very hot day today. A few heat-driven thunderstorms, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but again, 20% chances. 8 o'clock tonight, well, it's starting to cool off, so any thunderstorms that do form are going to go away fairly quickly this evening. Slightly better chance of rain tomorrow. The high pressure is going to weaken quite a bit, or at least in terms of how it affects our weather, and that will allow a slightly better chance of rain as a very weak front moves into the area. And then the high pressure builds back to the east over the weekend. Yeah, that's going to bring back the hot stuff by about Sunday and Monday of next week. Another hot one out there today, only isolated thunderstorms. 87 your high today in North Myrtle Beach, 90 for Murrells Inlet. But the hottest weather today is places like Lumberton and Laurinburg, where that high is going to be about 96 or 97. Lows tonight with a slight chance of an evening thunderstorm in the upper 60s to around 70 tonight in Murrells Inlet. Here comes your 7-day forecast for the Grand Strand real quick. We'll keep those highs in the mid to upper 80s. I think it will be a dry weekend for the vast majority of us. Mid to upper 80s for the high at the beach. Low to mid 90s this weekend inland, but that is a little cooler than it was earlier this week.